Hey, what's going on? Addiction Hope. Ryan Moffat here. In today's vlog, I want to talk about how today's decisions, today's disciplines set you up for tomorrow's success. Just last week, I decided, you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to stay up and I'm going to watch the Oregon Ducks play the California Golden Bears. And the game kept going. I don't know if any of you saw it, but it went to one overtime. And then finally, past midnight my time, the game ended in double overtime. Of course, Cal wins. And I looked at my watch and I thought, it is 12:15 and my four children do not care that I stayed up this late. They are still getting up in 6 to 6.5 hours. And I just had this dread come over me laying in bed. Oh no, I cashed in tomorrow's energy and I cashed it in today. And I think when we think about recovery, when we think about battling the addictions that are just so prevalent, whether it's a drinking addiction or a drug addiction or a sex addiction or a gambling addiction, the truth is you have got to have reserve energy and you've got to make decisions today that give you energy for tomorrow's battles. And so I want to suggest to you 3 things on this vlog about why we need rest, why we need to plan in moments in our schedule for rest. And specifically, I think we need to plan our sleep in a manner that prepares us. There's 3 things I want to tell you about sleep that are important for you to remember if you're going to have success in your battle. Number 1, sleep and rest. They remind us that we are not God. That might be real simple sounding, but let me put it this way. Sleep and rest are designed by God to show us we are not God. See, if you were God, you wouldn't need to take a nap. Although God himself rests on the 7th day to show us a model, to show us an example of, you know what? God himself rests, so we probably should too. And so one way you're going to be able to fight your battle is if you store up your energy today for tomorrow's difficulties. Number 2, I want to tell you this, that rest and sleep produce trust. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. There's a level of trust that you have to believe in your heart every night to shut your eyes and go to bed. You have to trust and say, you know what? I've done everything I can today. I've battled today's battles. I've done everything I can with all the energy that I've worked up. But I've got to trust that tomorrow I'll wake up again and I'll be able to fight tomorrow's battles. So much of life, let's be honest, it's ceaseless striving. We're just trying the best we can. And when we go to bed every night, it's an element of trust that we'll wake up with energy, that we'll wake up with power for the things we need. But the last thing I want to tell you about rest and sleep is that rest and sleep today positions you for tomorrow's battles. Now picture this with me. I don't know if you've ever had a computer not plugged into its power source that's feeding all these devices. And I remember one time I had my computer plugged in and I had an iPhone plugged into it, draining the juice. I had a external hard drive plugged into it, draining the juice. I had I think an iPad plugged into it, draining the juice. And watching that battery, you could almost see it just slowly move in like this because so much was pulling out of the actual power source. And so I had to plug that computer back in and I had to let it get juiced up. And I think that's how we got to approach our lives. Knowing we have a limited amount of energy, knowing we have a limited amount of focus, you have a limited bandwidth for emotional and relational intimacy. And just to own that and say, I need time. And so ironically, the slogan and the anthem for the Oregon Ducks is win the day. And I think last week I chose to lose the day simply by staying up too late. I woke up cranky the next day. I woke up impatient, tired. I woke up not wanting to be bothered. And I made that investment the day before. So how about you? What kind of investments are you making? Are you ready for the battles that are coming tomorrow? They'll be there. And so let me tell you this. Turn off this video, shut your computer, go to bed. Tomorrow's coming. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome day. See ya.